Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. How's everyone doing today? Little sound check. Want to make sure it's all on. The chat is up and running. How's everybody going? What's going on? It's Thursday. Another exciting day in the dead of winter. We got fresh snow. Like the foot that was already on the ground wasn't enough. We got more. Although it is, like 20, 21 degrees out there, something like that. Better than the sub-zero stuff, I'm in Michigan. And I don't know what the groundhog said, but I don't see it lightening up at all. We got another inch last night. So what's on your mind, people? What do you guys want to talk about? Afternoon Chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The guest stars of the show are the people in the chat. They determine what we talk about. They pretty much control the show. It's a free show. If you want to be able to chat, you're going to need that Discord app from YouTube. It's free, just like the show's free. I'm one of the few people on television that's not trying to tackle you or your wallet. The only thing really on my mind is this Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. Thoroughly heinous crime. That's what I was watching this morning. Well, there's been, press releases and updates, and a reward is now offered. Unfortunately, it's not looking good. Well, when they get to the point they're offering a cash reward in a kidnapping case, it means that they're out of leads. Maybe the chat today can generate some leads. The only thing I could think of is the fact that the house was in a remote area. I would look at the pings on the closest cell towers. They got to have, phones. Everybody has phones nowadays. If they enter that cell area, that cell is going to automatically connect. Unless they took the time to put the phone in airplane mode or shut it off. They seem to be very well planned from what I've heard. Well, I would look to find abandoned buildings within a 50-mile radius. Well, figure anyone that's done that kind of planning is also set up someplace to take the abductee. They wouldn't want it to be their own home, and they wouldn't want it to be more than an hour away from where they kidnapped her from. It's just like carrying illegal drugs when you're doing a crime in a car. 95% of all drug busts occur in a car. So keeping her in a motor vehicle for too long would be risky behavior. She's got to be relatively close. I'd say within an hour's drive. An hour's drive at the speed limit. I haven't spent that much time in Arizona. I've traveled through a number of times. I'm not real familiar with the area that she was taken from. But given the cutbacks in the national parks, I would think there might be a ranger station or something like that that's abandoned this time of the year. I'm sure the authorities are, looking at every angle, but anybody knows anything, please feel free to contact the authorities and help this woman out, help this family out, please. Well, a senior citizen to target a senior citizen is just, that's as bad as these Epstein people targeting children. You know what I mean? It's all disgusting. There should be a special place in hell for these kind of people. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and voice your opinion, but I have an 87-year-old father. The thought that someone would target him, that's just disgusting. Horrible, horrible thing. Horrible, horrible crime. I hope she makes it back home safe. I really do. It's a dangerous world. Too many people think that they can get away with crime. Realistically, crime does not pay. Okay? It does not. They all get caught eventually. It always comes out. It's just like, when they're robbing banks, one bank is never enough. You know what I mean? These people are creatures of habit, and if their habits are breaking the law, it's just a matter of time before they are captured and held accountable. In my opinion. I think there's a little bit of progress that's been made, but I think that each day that goes by, this woman is at more risk. Well, the older you get, the more health issues you have. The more dependent you are on drugs or your routine. Trauma, stress. It can actually turn into a physical ailment just from being under that much duress, that much stress. Your mental state has a direct correlation to your physical health. in my opinion. You see a lot of people that worry themselves half to death. They get ulcers. Their sleep patterns are interrupted and not consistent. And the body's self-healing takes place while you're asleep. That's when your immune system works the hardest, is while you're sleeping. As far as I know, anyways. I'm not a doctor, you know. I just find the whole thing sad, and we should all pray for this woman to get home safe. Personal opinion, you know. Sorry to start the show with such a downer, but that's what I was watching this morning. I like to watch TMZ, and this was like the mainstay of their broadcast this morning. So TMZ gives you, celebrity news, I guess. That's how I look at it anyways. So what do you guys want to talk about? As far as I know, the show's progressing. I got another sticker or two from YouTube. They're telling me I'm doing a great job. Their words, not mine. Okay. I think we're at 52 subscribers and 340 viewing hours, 2,000 views, something like that. I don't know who YouTube is marketing this show to. I'm sure if I got in there and researched it, they'd let me pay more money to get in front of more people. But I have no money, so it doesn't interest me. Sometimes your wallet has to control your life, okay? Sometimes you don't have an option. It's nice when you can control your own life and not have to worry about your wallet, but nowadays, in 2026, those days are hard to find, I guess. Now, I got Crumbleina coming over tonight after she gets done with bingo. And I'll probably pull up the analytics and share information with her and get her opinions. Well, I respect her opinions. She, like me, had a career dealing with the public most of her adult life. And I think that's what this show is all about, is the public, the people. But this show has no script. It has no agenda. I'm not trying to control or manipulate people. And I'm not trying to put my thumb on the scale and say, oh, we have to talk about this subject or we have to talk about that subject. I don't care what we talk about. I leave that up to the people in the chat. We had a nice young man yesterday that was going through a breakup. Stuff like that's stressful. It's hard. Well, your feelings get hurt when you get dumped, right? And some of these people treat love like it's disposable. At least that's the way it seems to me, you know. They seem to want a new relationship every 2 years. You know, I never felt that way. But excuse me. But I'm no relationship expert or anything like that. You know what I mean? I'm just an old guy. I can only talk about my life experiences, what I've learned and what I've gleaned from my mistakes. I like to hear others, other opinions, other perspectives. That's why the show's got the chat, so you can voice your opinion. It's my understanding that most people do have an opinion. Well, they're not all willing to share those opinions, but most people do have an opinion. I respect those that are willing to get in the chat and talk. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it, can be embarrassing. Well, sometimes your opinion may not fit in with our society's norm. Doesn't mean your opinion's not valid. Just means your opinion's not as popular as it could be. Well, maybe other people haven't seen things from your perspective, right? Doesn't mean your perspective isn't valid. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. I apologize. But that's your proof that I'm not AI. I smoke cigarettes and I drink Dr. Pepper and Gatorade all on a live stream. It's like I was raised with animals. I wasn't, but I'm not recommending you do anything that I do. Okay. I smoke pot and cigarettes. And sometimes smoking pot is probably a better option. Well, Monday and Tuesday, I was pretty stressed out of this week. Monday, I went off on ICE. Tuesday, I went off on the Epstein files. Wednesday, I was relatively under control. Okay. Might even seem sane to some people, but. And here we are on Thursday. It's a tumultuous week, a regular emotional roller coaster. Glad you're along for the ride, right? I'm just putting it in cruise control. We got Friday right around the corner. We'll get through this week. The main thing I'm doing with this show is I'm just trying to be reliable, trying to be dependable. I think that, people like stability, I think. personal opinion. I like stability. Yeah. I had a good phone call last night. My granddaughter's signed to go to college. It's official now. Very exciting time for her. She is so smart. That college is in trouble. Okay. She soaks up information like a sponge. She's starting college 3 credits short of an associate's degree. That's how smart she is. It's impressive. Well, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, in 4 years she'll have a master's. As intelligent as she is, I think that the better we educate our children, the better off they are. It's my belief that you should teach your kids until your kids turn around and teach you. I think each generation tries to improve on the last, right? I did not graduate high school. I got a GED test. Both my sons graduated high school. And now the next generation is going to attend college. As a senior citizen, I think that's the best you can hope for, is each generation in turn improves. Better educated, better life. Personal opinion. I mean, a lot of people never went to college. I thought college was a great place to go pick up girls. I did. But I never attended. I did audit a couple of classes in my day. I did go to half a dozen different trade schools in my day. But, you know, as far as formal education, mine stopped at the 9th grade. I ended up moving to Vegas and went to trade school to become a table games dealer. And I worked in that profession for 33 years. Made a decent living. Raised my kids, you know. I'd probably still be doing it today if I hadn't become crippled. Life changes sometimes, and it doesn't always go in the direction that you've pointed your ship. Okay. And you can only play with the cards that you're dealt. Personal opinion. I mean, feel free to jump in the chat and voice yours. As far as this show goes, anytime I'm talking about something and you want to change the subject, you're more than welcome. I can pivot on a dime. Okay? Whatever you want to talk about is fine with me. You do need to follow the community guidelines of YouTube. But other than that, there's no real rules here. Voice your opinion, let it fly. If the chat picks up on it as being an interesting topic, we'll stay on it. If the chat doesn't think it's real interesting, we'll probably move on. I have no preset goals for the show as far as, what we talk about, what we discuss. Nothing is predetermined. I'm basically getting on here and winging it every day. What do you expect for $1.298? It's free, right? A free show. No midstream ads, no commercials, no sponsors. I'm not running for political office. I'm not trying to become an online influencer. I'm too old for that shit. That's for you young people, okay? That lane is all yours, okay? I'm planning to stay out of it. I'm on here to meet people, talk to people, and find out what's on their mind. I'm not trying to influence anyone to do anything other than to tolerate their fellow human beings and stop hating, stop fighting. Those confrontations build nothing. They're actually destructive, in my opinion. Train yourself to tolerate, not hate. When you tolerate your fellow human beings, you can work with them and accomplish great things. When you hate your fellow human beings, all rational thought is gone. Right out the window. In order to hate someone, it's my belief you have to have an uncontrollable fear of them. If you can control your fear of them, it's not hate, it's just dislike. Dislike is okay. Disagreement is okay. But hatred is society's wrecking ball. It destroys everything. Because in order to hate, you must have irrational, uncontrollable fear. I have anger just like anybody else. I try to keep it under control. Try. That's all you got to do. But I can honestly tell you, I don't hate anyone because I control my fears. A little bit of fear is a good thing. It helps keep you alive. A little bit of fear keeps you from stepping off the edge of the Grand Canyon. A little bit of fear keeps you from swimming straight out into the ocean to a point where you ain't strong enough to swim back. A little bit of fear is good. It's necessary. But when the fear takes all control, It's not good, and it never ends good. Because when you fear uncontrollably, you lose rational thought. You cannot process things properly. Your fears don't allow it. You've got to control your fear, in my opinion. It's just like when my young son called me into the room, "Daddy, I need a nightlight on." It's my job as the parent to teach him to control his fears. I turn the lights on. I show him there's no monsters in the closet. I show him there's no monsters under the bed. And I reassure him, I'm going to be in the next room all night. I'll be here in the morning. I'm not leaving. You're safe. If I can teach him to control his fears and his imagination, he can sleep a good, restful night's sleep. That's your goal as a parent, right? Is to teach your children. You can't let your imagination run away with you. If you let your imagination have control, what are you doing? You need to control those fears in order to get quality of life. If you can't control your fears, how do you ever walk out of your home? If you're watching the news, you're going to be convinced there's an armed gunman on every corner in America that's been plotting to kill you for months. That's not the case. If you think that, you need to get some counseling, okay? Counseling is a good thing. I recommend it. I don't care how many counselors you go through in your lifetime. Your use of every one of them is valid to me. It has value. If you stay in counseling long enough, it can give you an overview of what you're actually doing, of what path you're setting yourself upon, what direction you're going in. After my third divorce, I put myself in counseling for 1.5 years. I wanted to make sure I knew what the hell I was doing after a third divorce. Gosh, that's a reality check. I learned a lot about myself. I think it's a good thing to be able to unload all your problems on someone and then walk away. It gives you an unburdened feeling. Here's all the things that are on my plate today. See you next week. You know what I mean? Then when you get there next week, you say, what'd you think of all those problems I had last week? Here's what I did with them. Here's how I dealt with them. Should I have done something different? Was I overreacting in this instance? Was I underreacting in this instance? Sometimes your emotions get control. Well, like Psycho that was in the chat yesterday. Don't get me wrong, I'm not calling him a psycho. His screen name was Psycho. Okay. But Psycho had just been dumped. He was lost. We all get lost from time to time. Counseling can help you to heal, to get yourself on the right path. When you have a bad breakup, an emotional discharge, you need to heal. Once you heal, you rebuild the foundation of your life. Then you can build up. But you gotta shore up that foundation when it's been rattled. You need to heal yourself first. Just like the oxygen mask on the plane drops down. Your instinct is to put it on the child first. But the instructions they give you say put it on yourself first. Take care of you first. Then you can help others. I mean, that's my opinion. That's what I've gotten out of counseling over my lifetime. Is I need to heal me. Then I can put my life back together. But if I skip healing me, how can I build anything steady when the foundation has still got cracks and holes in it? You can't build on a shoddy foundation. Does you no good. Eventually it'll all come crashing down again. Personal opinion. What I tried to explain to Psycho yesterday was put yourself on a path to success. Heal yourself. Build for yourself. Build a life for yourself. When you get this thing going again, it will instinctively make you attractive to others. Oh, look at the future this guy's building. I want to be a part of that. That has a great value. But when your foundation has been shattered before you've had time to heal, it's real hard to look appealing to others. It's my belief the only thing wrong with being married 10 times is paying for the first 9. As long as you inevitably find that happiness, you find that partner to share your life with, you're doing good. You may have partnered up with someone who made a mistake, strayed off the path. Maybe that wasn't the proper person for you to be with. Time will tell. The truth always comes out over time. The world can be a lonely place. When you find the right partner, the world's never lonely. That's why the right partner is so cherished in our society. Isn't it? I like people, and I think good of people, but all people, including me, make mistakes. You've got to be willing to forgive people. Sometimes that's hard, especially when you've been hurt. But part of your self-healing process is going to be to forgive other people for the wrongs that they've done. Some of those are monstrously high mountains, and some of them are just little speed bumps. But once you've healed yourself, you've repaired your foundation, you're free to build in any direction, in any manner that you see fit. That is a very good position to be in. But you've got to have a solid foundation. And when you just got dumped, that's kind of hard to do. Foundation's not as good as it was a week ago. That's one of the reasons I recommend counseling, to help you heal. The sooner you heal, the sooner you can start to build again. And when you start to build something great, you become extremely attractive to others. Success attracts other people. And it builds confidence. People are attracted to confidence. And when you're starting to build off of your repaired, solid foundation, you need other people on your team to help you build. It lightens your workload and you achieve success faster. That's why you want to remain open and allow people in. Allow more people on your team. In order to allow people on your team, you must be tolerant, because not all people are identical copies of one another. While we all have a common ground, a core, if you will, we are all at the same time unique individuals. That uniqueness sets us apart from the animals. In my opinion. I'm drinking Gatorade. I have one every afternoon. My doctor told me I needed the electrolytes, so I believed her. I don't recommend Gatorade. I'd had it before, and it's got electrolytes, so they could call it something else and be fine with me. The show has no sponsors, and just because I'm doing something don't mean you should do it either, you know. I'm just a guy sitting on his couch in Michigan. I don't have all the answers, but I have a few. Life experience gives you some of the answers. Not the answers for everyone, but the answers that worked for you. I saw it in a movie one time. Actor's name was Ben Johnson, I think. An old Western. He was sitting in a saloon talking to his co-star, and his line from the movie was, the wrinkles on my face are the roadmap to the life that has been. Something on that effect. You learn through experience over time. And I believe that sharing your experiences, sharing what you learned, is a good thing. When people ask for your opinion, when they ask for your expertise, it's not something that you can force on people. Your perspective is uniquely yours. It's not identical to anyone else's. So you have to keep that in mind. I think our life here on planet Earth affords us all different options, different paths that we can proceed on. The paths that you choose is your training ground for life. It's like when you have kids, they don't come with an instruction book. Okay? They don't. You've got to work your way through that path all on your own. Sometimes that path has got pitfalls and sometimes it don't. Sometimes it takes wide sweeping turns, other times it takes short abrupt turns. Everyone's path is different. Two people can take the exact same class in school and come out with totally different ideas of what they've learned. Each human mind is unique. Well, that goes into why I think that all human life has value. When you look at war and death and ending bloodlines, you have to wonder, at least I wonder, what if that bloodline had not ended? Was that bloodline's grandchild the one that was going to be educated and solve the largest problems that we have here on Earth? Only human beings can solve the problems on Earth. Bears can't solve problems on Earth. Wolves can't, rabbits can't, snakes can't. Only human beings can solve Earth's problems, in my opinion. And maybe a gopher can come up with a cure for cancer. I don't know. But I'm saying that odds are it's going to be a human being. So we need every bloodline to reproduce. And then we need that offspring to be educated to a level that it can come up with a solution for Earth's problems. Every time I see the human race end a bloodline, of which there are no offspring that can be educated to solve our problems, I see this as the human race shooting itself in the foot. Every mind is unique, so we need them, and we need them to be educated so that they may solve our future problems. In my opinion. Every bloodline has an intrinsic value. We need those children, and we need to educate those children in order to improve our lives and solve our problems. Like when penicillin was invented, how many bloodlines were killed off prior to that discovery that could have been educated and discovered it earlier? The solution to humans' problems are more humans, better educated humans. That's how we solve our problems. Technology. They're talking now about lost technologies. The technologies that were used to build the pyramids. We lost those technologies. The bloodlines ended, the education was stunted, and over time, all that information of how those people moved those huge monoliths, how they engineered those pyramids, was lost. Every bloodline on planet Earth has value. You may not have the education to find the answers that we need, but your grandchild might. We have one planet and we have one human race. Only the human race can solve the problems on our planet. Only our planet can support the human race. We need both. We lose either one, and it's all gone. Lost just like the technology to build the pyramids was lost. I was watching last week, and I was watching a short film on Göbekli Tepe, a site in Turkey. I urge you to look it up. It's quite enlightening. There were generations previous that had knowledge that we no longer have. They had technologies that we no longer have. They had an understanding that we no longer have. It was lost through time. Every human life has an intrinsic value. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but feel free to jump in the chat and voice your opinion. Even a look at the history books shows you that now that we can write things down, now that we have actual languages and communication skills, that things are improving exponentially. We can write things down and teach others from what we've learned. They weren't writing anything down back in Göbekli Tepe. They didn't have written language. They didn't even have paper. So all that technology, all that information that those human beings came up with was lost over time. What happens now if we have a nuclear holocaust? Mankind could survive, but not have electricity again? Not have gas? Not have all the things that we take for granted? How long did it take the human race to realize that we shouldn't drink water from stagnant pools? If we have a nuclear holocaust, mankind might survive. But how much of our technology will be lost? History, they burned the Library of Alexandria, right? All that information that was managed to get written down disappeared, went up in smoke. The human beings before us knew more about astrology and the stars and aligning things and building things like pyramids. And if you had to move a 20,000 pound monolith, how are you going to do that? It's harder today than it was back then, because back then they were doing it left and right and building fantastic buildings that are still up and upright today. We wish we had that technology to this day. We need every human being. And we need them to have children, and we need to educate those children until those children turn around and educate us. Only the human beings can solve the problems on planet Earth. The zebras aren't going to solve crap. I like zebras, but they're not going to solve global warming. The only ones that can solve it are the human beings. We need every bloodline on this planet. We should not be killing anyone. We should be educating every child on this planet. Teach them until they teach us back. That would be the intelligent thing for the human race to do. Every time the human race ends a bloodline, the human race is shooting itself, its own progress, right in the foot. We're delaying our success. I don't care what task you're trying to achieve. The smartest thing you can do is get more human beings on your team, all working together. It lightens your workload and it speeds up your rate of success. So if every human being on the planet was of the mindset that every bloodline has intrinsic value, and we stopped ending bloodlines and started educating every bloodline, Earth's problems would be solved. All of them. As long as we keep ending bloodlines and failing to educate bloodlines, Earth's problems remain. If you want to achieve a goal, if you want to achieve any task, I don't care if you're building a house or a road, the more human beings you got to help you, the faster you succeed. You lighten your own workload by adding other human beings. It's not always a matter of money to make you successful. This channel, if I want this channel to succeed, I need more human beings on my team. Plain and simple. That's how it works. In order to get my channel monetized, I need 1,000 viewing or 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours. Then I can get my channel monetized and I can do other projects and actually get paid. I need more human beings. The only way to get more human beings on your team, the only way is to be tolerant of the ways that they differ from me. And they need to be tolerant of the ways I differ from them. The more human beings you have working together, the lighter your workload and the faster you achieve all your goals. Plain and simple. If you watch the news, if you watch TV in America, what you're seeing is propaganda. What you're seeing are biased opinions, people trying to divide you into subgroups. And then they're trying to use your fears to control and motivate you. They wish to manipulate you. Your fellow human beings are an asset when they're on your team. One man wants to build a house. How long is it going to take? 1,000 men go to build that same house. How long is that going to take? Good afternoon. Welcome. The Vonans. Am I pronouncing that right? The Vonans 74. Interesting name. All right. What part of the world you from? I'm guessing that's got to be European. England. All right. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. How are you today? What's on your mind? What would you like to talk about? I'm great. Trying to get through winter, but I'm great. I really enjoy this show, and I really enjoy meeting the people from other parts of the world. What's your weather like up there? Yeah. Same thing here. 20 degrees. We got a foot of snow on the ground. Hopefully, we've only got a couple more months of this, and then summer and spring will be here. I take a vitamin D so that I don't get depressed. Snow was good when I was young and I could go snowmobiling or skiing or play in it. But now that I'm old, it just looks like a broken hip looking for a place to happen. Well, I'm glad you showed up today. What's going on in England? What are you guys doing? Yeah, I'm in Michigan, in America. I'm in between Detroit and Chicago, about halfway. Yeah, it is 4:08 p.m. here. Only 5 hours difference. That's not too bad. Yeah, this show's only been on for about 5 months. I go by Ghost mostly. It's an alias that I used to use when I was writing song lyrics. I used to have a band. I didn't want the band to owe me anything and have to credit me for anything. So I was a ghostwriter, and they came up with the name Ghost Mostly. You have a band? Excellent. I got to warn you, mine did not end nicely. During the pandemic, drummer committed suicide. My head songwriter and bass player, Parkinson's disease. And my other guitar player went to prison for methamphetamines. Not all bands end nicely. Man the Lifeboats? All right, I'll check it out. I'll look you up after I get off the show. That's an interesting name. What genre are you playing? I had a blues band. Rock folk, nice, very nice. I still write lyrics, but I rarely write them down anymore. Every time I do dishes, I write lyrics. I don't know why, but for some reason, as soon as I got the dishwater running, lyrics start popping into my head. Nice. It's a special job, drumming. It was really hard for my drummer to be able to sing. But a drummer is necessary. You've got to be able to keep time or you're never going to be successful. I just tried to set myself on fire. I guess I need to put that cigarette out. Oh, I love music. Music's what keeps me alive. I was just listening to Hugh Laurie last night playing jazz or playing blues. I knew him from acting on TV. I had no idea that he was that talented as far as music. He played an excellent piano and an okay guitar. And his voice wasn't that bad. Love piano. I used to sit and listen to just instrumental for hours and hours. Nice. My oldest played keyboards and my youngest son plays flute. But music is good for your soul, any genre. Yeah, I enjoy all kinds of music. I saw Hugh Laurie with Tom Jones last night. That was quite entertaining. Tom Jones, a music icon. Good music can come from any part of the world, though. Well, I'm glad you stopped by today. That's nice. Yeah, I really love music, but having a band is really hard. Well, it takes a while to get profitable, and music sells totally different than it has my whole life. I think most musicians now make the bulk of their money by going on tour, which is a grueling process. So, what else is on your mind? What do you guys want to talk about? I'm hoping that the Super Bowl is good. I'm thinking New England's going to win. There's something about that team that just, they don't go away quietly. You know what I mean? Not much else happening here. There's rumors that the Detroit Lions are trying to get Max Crosby. I'm hoping that's true, but there's really no way to tell. Well, they can't trade yet. They have to wait. But, the draft comes up in April. So it's not too much longer. But I'm hoping the Lions can improve over their 9-8 record last year. If you want to chat, you're going to need that Discord app from YouTube. It's free, just like the show's free. I'll never ask you for any money. That's not what this show's about. What this show's about is what just happened with the Vogons. People from different parts of the world jump in, have a conversation, and jump out. You gotta love it. Just goes to show you how grand technology really is. I've been doing this for 5 months now, and I love it. It's nice to hear what's on someone else's mind. I don't know what's going on in your part of the world, but I will believe you over anything I see on the news. I can tell you that much. Well, the news here in America is all propaganda now. They're using the news to divvy people up into smaller groups. They want you to fight amongst yourselves. It makes you easier to control with fear. You see it all the time. Every day when I turn on TV, I see our news media trying to divvy people up in smaller groups. Well, there's one human race, just one. And they're trying to divide you by religion, Muslim against Christian, by politics, Democrat against Republican, by race, white against black, or in our current case, against brown. It's all disgusting. There's only one human race. And by the U.S. Constitution, 55 years ago, we're all created equal. So tell me again, why should we divvy up into these smaller subgroups of human beings? As soon as they split you into subgroups, they tell you the exact same thing. That other group's out to get you. They're trying to use your fears to control and manipulate you. If you're an American, your fellow American is not your enemy. I don't care what they say. It's a lie. If you're an American, your fellow American is not your enemy. You should be leery of the person that's telling you they are. President Trump talking about radical leftists. No. Don't believe it. Are there some on the left that can be radical? Yes. There are some on the right that can be radical, but they're all human beings. The orange abomination was elected to represent both Republican and Democrat, and he has not since day one. He only represents himself. He wants self-enrichment, and he doesn't care about anyone or anything else. My opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and express yours. I mean, that's what this show's all about. I'm telling you, there's one human race on this planet, and anybody that's trying to divvy you up into subgroups is not your friend. Those neighbors of yours that they're trying to get you to hate, to distrust, are your best friends you haven't met yet. You depend on them every day. I can prove it to you. Walk over to your light switch and turn it on. Do the lights come on? Can you do that every day? Is it dependable? Is it reliable? Is it stable? I think yes. Do you know the names of all those people that work at the power company? I don't know the names of any of them, but I depend on them every day. So why again am I supposed to hate them? Why am I supposed to fear them? If they're dependable and I can rely on them every day, why must I hate them? Makes no sense. I don't hate the people who work at the water company either. I don't hate the restaurant workers. I don't hate the factory workers. I don't hate the grocery store workers. I depend on all of them every single day Tell me again why I'm supposed to hate them? Oh, because they disagree with me. Sorry, I don't get hate from disagree. Oh, they got a different color skin. Sorry, I don't get hate from a different color skin. The law says they're my equal. The law of the land says we're all equal. I guarantee you, when the shit hits the fan and we have a natural disaster, we have a flood, we have a bad storm, I guarantee you that those same people that you're telling me I must hate are going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with me, helping to clean up, helping to put it all back together. They're going to be working at my side. Now tell me again why I'm supposed to hate them. It makes no sense. The people that are telling you that your fellow human beings should be hated are not your friends. Your fellow human beings should be respected. Okay? You don't have to like them, but you should respect them because they're reliable, they're dependable, they go to work every day, they do their job. Is there a grocery store where the owner's standing at the front door saying, this is Republicans only? We don't let no damn Democrats in here. No, there's not. Why not? Oh, that's bad for business. So tell me again why I must hate the Democrats? If it's bad for business and the store owner doesn't think he needs to separate us, why do you need to separate us? All human beings are on the human being team. If you're living in a grass shack in Somalia, you've got to go to work every day. If you don't go to work every day, what happens? You die. You do not survive. You do not thrive. It's the same thing if you live in America. You have to get up and go to work every day. If you don't go to work every day, what happens? You'll die. You're not going to survive. You're not ever going to thrive. Every human being in every country on this planet has to get up and go to work every day, and they do. You can take that to the bank. Every human being gets up and goes to work every day, or they do not survive. They're not trying to live on welfare. They're not looking for a handout. They're getting up and going to work. They're building for their future. That's how you survive in this day and age, is you get up and you go to work. So why should I hate him when I can rely on him? When I do rely on him, why should I hate him? It makes no sense. You're telling me to hate someone else. You're telling me to fear someone else. Why? If you're an American, your fellow American is not your enemy. And I'll take it further. Your Canadian neighbor is not your enemy. Your Mexican neighbor is not your enemy. Why? They get up and go to work every day, just like you. They can be relied on. They can be depended on. Just like you. Your common ground exceeds your differences by a lot. Does the Christian love his family? Yes. Does the Muslim love his family? Yes. Does the Republican love his family? Yes. Does the Democrat love his family? Yes. Does the black man love his family? Yes. Does the white man love his family? Yes. Do you get the point? These people that are telling you to hate one another and fear one another are not your friends. You need to respect one another and you need to tolerate one another. Tolerate is good, hate is bad. Tolerate your neighbor and you can work together with him and you can build great things. Hate your neighbor, and that's society's wrecking ball. It destroys everything that we've built. Take a look out your front door. Everything that you see in front of you that is man-made, the cars, the roads, the lights, the houses, the businesses, it's all man-made. That's your proof. That's your evidence that the human beings before you put their differences aside and actually worked together to build these things. One man did not build your car. It was a group of men that built that car. One man did not build your street. It was a group of men that built your street. One man did not build your house. It was a group of men that built that house. Tolerate your fellow human being is all you need to do. Respect him and tolerate where he's different from you. And hope that he respects you and tolerates where you're different from him. Think about it. Move out into the wilderness 50 miles from your nearest neighbor, and your life gets really hard, really difficult. Your options are limited. There's no bowling alley. You can't go bowling if you're 50 miles out in the wilderness. You can walk over and hit a light switch, but you're not going to have electricity. You're not going to have running water. You can't go to the grocery store. It's 50 miles away. Oh, you got to hunt. You got to fish. Your life gets so much harder. I'm telling you, if you live in Chicago, let's go to dinner. How many options do you have for dinner in Chicago? Boy, that makes your life pretty cush, doesn't it? You've got options because of your fellow human beings. Without them, you have no options, only what you can do yourself. With all these other human beings, guess what? I've got options that make my life pretty cush. I've got options. I've got help. Help and options are nice. They're pluses. I get quality of life when I have 100 restaurants to pick from. I get a quality of life that you living in the middle of nowhere by yourself in the dark because you ain't got electricity. You ain't got the same options I got. Your life's not as cush as mine. That's why we have cities. We have cities so that human beings can be in close proximity so that they can work together and they can build great things by tolerating and respecting each other. Not with hate. Don't hate, tolerate. That's my opinion. This show gives you the option to voice yours anytime you like. You want to argue with this with me, you're welcome to. If you want to agree with me, you're welcome to. You don't have to do either, but the option is there for you. I believe every human being has the right to be heard. If you're in a foreign country that does not have the freedom of speech that I'm afforded here in the United States of America, don't get yourself in any trouble in our chat room. Don't get into trouble with your government if you don't have freedom of speech. Follow the community guidelines established by YouTube, and we're golden. The only thing you can do wrong in this chat room is not have a good time. Everyone is welcome, not just the people that agree with me. I'm telling you, your fellow human being is not your enemy. Ultra Kenny, all right. I checked out that show. What was it? Stupid Friends? Oh my gosh. I got to smoke a bowl to watch that. I couldn't believe it. For an animated show, it was kind of cute. Thank you for the recommendation. It was a decent recommendation. It wasn't a Dairy Girls recommendation, but it was a decent recommendation. I sat here and watched it with Crumbelina, and she's like, we got to fire up a bowl for this. I only saw the one episode, and I had company, so we were having a conversation and laughing and watching. We saw the one with the guy that had the gun pointed at his head, and he was suicidal throughout. We chuckled a bit, but I really didn't like educate myself on the characters and stuff yet. Well, welcome back to the show, Ultra. Missed you, girl. Glad you're here. Pym, I thought, was the central character. I thought they could have gone into a little more detail with Pym's appearance. It seems the cartoon aspect of it seems a little simplistic. But Pym was the star. But the character I remember the most was the old guy with the gun to his head that was, suicidal. Well, I liked the show. It was cute, but it's something that I got to smoke for. You know what I mean? If I'm going to watch anime, I'm going to have to be stoned. That's my personal preference. Crumbelina and I sat here on the couch and watched it. We fired up a bowl of the good stuff and we had a few laughs. And I told her that you recommended it. And she said, well, we're going to have to give it a couple more shots. And I said, yeah. And she said, but not tonight, you know. We'll watch it again, I'm sure. I can't remember what I found it on. I think it was on HBO. An interesting show. SMTHRQ. I'm not sure what SMTHRQ is. Smith Road? I don't know. I don't know what that is. But I'm down to learn something new. Hit me, girl. Oh, something about Pym? Okay. Well, I'm sure you've seen more episodes than I have. I only watched the one. And if I remember correctly, Pym was red, right? Yeah, I think he was bald. Oh, pink. I don't know. Maybe a hot pink. I'd still call that red. Oh, I'm thinking Alan. I could be confused, girl. It wouldn't be the first time. Oh, okay. Desmond was the tall guy, right? And he was like yellow. Yeah, the only one that had any hair at all was the dude with the gun, right? All right, I'm totally confused. I didn't retain as much as I thought. Yellow guy is Charlie. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch, girl. I got no. Well, after I actually Crumbleine is coming over tonight, so maybe we'll watch another episode. I'll see how much time she's got. If she's got time, we'll look it up and watch another episode. All right. Train me. Teach me. The thing on his head. I really don't remember anything on his head. Well, if it's not a hair strand, what is it? Is he wearing headphones or something? What the heck was on his head? Yeah, even if Crumbleina doesn't stick around and watch it, I'm going to rewatch. I just didn't retain as much as I thought. I probably should have watched more than one episode, realistically. Well, what is on his head? I'm down the rabbit hole now. I gotta know now. Seemed like somebody was wearing some headphones. An exposed nerve ending. Oh, gross. That's bizarre. Exposed nerve ending. God dang. All right. I'm going to rewatch it tonight. Tomorrow's show, check with me tomorrow. I'll retain something out of watching it tonight. You think this exposed nerve ending makes him really, really cute? We're learning a lot about you, Ultra. I'll tell you what. You like that, and your friends think that you're Orla from Dairy Girls. I'm learning a lot about you. I finally got all the characters on Dairy Girls straight. I only watched all 3 seasons. I thought Michelle was the prettiest, by the way. I thought Michelle was the prettiest, then James. The kid that played James was an attractive young man. I could see him growing up to be a Timothy Chalamet type, getting real popular with the girls. Who do I remind you of? Sabrina Carpenter? Hey, beautiful, talented young lady. I'll take it. I've heard, since I started this show, I heard Gary Oldman and now Sabrina Carpenter. I think she's very talented. I wish I was that talented. I wish I was that young. She's like under 30, right? She's not very old. I'm thinking like 27, 28, something like that. Oh, okay. Even younger. Yeah, I'd like to be young again, believe me. If I was young again, I'd probably get in more trouble than I did. Well, I think I know more now, you know. I might have taken some of my past to a little more extreme territory than I went. In my mind, I picture you looking exactly like Orla, acting exactly like Orla. I think the thing that made Orla such a great character in Dairy Girls was the surrounding cast all accepting her as she is. You know what I mean? Not all teachers are good. Keep that in mind. Some of them can be good, but not all of them are. I had a couple of teachers in my youth that were worthless. I was a troublemaker. I'm sure compared to me, you were an absolute angel. I was the troublemaker from the word go. Oh, crap. I got to end the show, honey. We're running out of time here. Afternoon chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The stars of the show are the people in the chat. They determine what we talk about. They run the show. Don't tell them. It's need to know only. Don't tell them how much power they actually have. It'll go to their head. This is a free show. You'll find no midstream ads, no sponsors, no hustle of any kind. I ain't trying to sell you anything, and I'm not coming out with a line of merch. What I am going to do is give you an opportunity to speak your mind. This is an inclusive channel, not an exclusive club. We want everyone to feel welcome. I do need to ask people to like and subscribe. This is also free. That's YouTube's demands, not mine. They send me stickers. Okay. So I read the sticker and it says I'm doing a great job. But I need to ask people to like and subscribe. So I pass that information on to you all. We're 5 months in. We're standing at 52 subscribers. We need 1,000. So next time you're on, bring a friend. Can't hurt. Today's star of the show, we had a couple. Ultra Kenny. Ultra Kenny jumps in and makes herself heard. And the Vaughns. From England. I appreciate everyone that comes in and watches the show, everyone that participates in the chat. I do appreciate you a lot. When no one gets in the chat, it's just me rambling on whatever's crossing my mind on any given day. Hopefully you'll find it harmless and helpful, but if you ever want to change the subject, jump in the chat. I'll give you full control of the show. The only thing we can do wrong is not have a good time. Everything else is repairable. Okay. Not a big deal. I do like to end the show telling people, try liking everybody. Try being nice to everybody. Being kind to everybody. I think you're going to like your end result. Find some love. Find some joy. These are the things that give our lives value. Tolerate your fellow human. Be nice to everyone. And I believe that kindness, that niceness will come back to you tenfold. Personal belief. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll be here at 3 Eastern Standard Time. The man without a script, without an agenda. Stop by. I think you might enjoy yourself. Thanks for your time. Have a great evening. Be safe. Be happy. Find someone to love. I dare you. Bye.